Hello, this is Dr. Carl Hansen, again with Louisiana Academy of Family Physicians on the series of independent practice, how to start your own practice if you are starting straight out of residency or if you're leaving a previous place of employment or some other entity that you want to start your own practice. And today's episode is about finding an office, an actual space to practice. And the document that accompanies this goes into more detail, but there's a few items to transmit by discussion that are worthy of. So let's get started. So one of the first questions is really, what am I looking for? The bottom line is something that's not really expensive. So you don't need any office space that's greater than 1,000 square feet. What you need as a family medicine doctor is you need a place to see a patient, or maybe 2 rooms to see a patient. And so an exam room can be 12 by 12. So that's just 144 square feet. You double that. So now you're at the 288. So then there's other space. There's place for if you're going to have a reception area, you don't need a big waiting room. If you're going to have a little office for yourself in the back or something. So, and that can really, all a family medicine doctor would need is about 800 square feet max. 1,000 is not getting too greedy. You can do some other stuff with that. But the point is that you don't want your overhead really high. So the first thing I point out to physicians that want to practice, don't go anything that's real expensive. You do not need to have a high ticket piece of real estate in order to see patients. Patients do not care if you have marble sinks and fountains. They want to be able to access and see their physician. That's the most important part. So first point is go relatively small so that you can keep that part of the overhead low. The next item is kind of ambiance of the area. So do you want to have have your office in some big medical building that has a small square footage for you, or do you want to be in some other professional building elsewhere? Or do you want to be in a strip mall between a vape shop and a pizza place? It's that kind of thing. So you kind of want to pick an area that has a bit of a professional atmosphere to it, and doesn't look like that there's a lot of high turnover businesses. And so you would talk to the owner of the property and tell them that you're a physician who intends on staying long term and you're looking for this type of ambiance again, if you will. That'd be the second item, is to make sure that you're not too much in, let's say, a cheesy area, but not $1 million square foot style stuff. The third item to discuss is, can you do it yourself or do you need a real estate agent? Both. Especially if you're not in the location, let's say you're going to set a practice that's in a place that's 100 miles from here, maybe you want to get a realtor to kind of scope out what's out there and to get back to you. If you're able to get to the area, of course, you can drive around and see areas and maybe talk to other physicians or something to find out if there's an area, and talk to some maybe subspecialists, not just primary care doctors. So you want to get a realtor if you need it. Strictly speaking, you don't need to engage a realtor if you have the ability to be in that area and to scope out areas. However, a lot of times the realtor may know of an office space that is about to get opened up that is not yet advertised in the market. So there could be some benefit in that. And then when you find potential space, then you'll get the lease contract and you'll negotiate whether you want a 3-year lease or a 5-year lease or less than that. And then that contract you would bring to your, hopefully your healthcare attorney that would be able to kind of look that over with you with a second set of eyes. And another factor, of course, is if that area is already saturated with reams of primary care physicians, then maybe you don't want to locate there. That should be pretty easy to determine. There's not a lot of good primary care physicians out there, so pretty much wherever you set up, you should be good. But yes, that would be a component you look at. So otherwise, just check out the document for other tips and tricks and talk to your realtor should you get one. You'll be able to find a space. Just don't go expensive. Make sure that you walk through the space and looks like that it has proper flow with the room, so that you're not having to spend money on build out to make the thing where it's operational for a medical practice. Hopefully those bits will help you in getting started finding your practice location. Thanks for listening. All right, bye.